Back in Bloomington, Indiana, Michigan leading 37-0 as we head to the fourth quarter. Wayne Larrabee, Randy Wright, Jim Barber, good to have you with us. Good size homecoming crowd was on hand here, but the Wolverines in their performance kind of cleaned the stands a little bit. Russell Shaw back deep to receive this punt from Alan Sipkowski, the all-time leading punter in Hoosier history. Sipkowski mishandled that snap a little bit, but got a beautiful punt away right at Shaw. Now the line drive kick, Shaw able to make something of it. And look at this. Out across the 45-yard line, Russell Shaw making like Charles Woodson, and Michigan will start this next drive out across the Wolverine 45 near the 47. Break of the action. We'll be right back. First down for the Michigan Wolverines at the 46 of Michigan, and Brady back to throw. And a man wide open. The pass sails wide of the mark, incomplete. That was Marcus Knight, the intended receiver. Brady's pass seemed to wobble a bit there, Randy.
Seemed to wobble quite a bit, and big difference when you're thrown into the wind like that.
Let's go back to the studio. Mike Gleason. Mike.
Okay, Wayne, Florida State's defense pitching the shutout today. Shevin Smith intercepts Ryan Clements, setting up another score. Miami's been held to 52 yards of total offense today. They're in the fourth, same scores as yours, 37-zip, Florida State. Wayne.
52 yards of offense for Miami. My goodness. And the freshman Thomas roped down across the 46 out near the 49-yard line. Curtis Randall L. made the stop. And look at the third quarter numbers, or the stats through three quarters, I should say. Michigan on the ground. Indiana, again, a lot when sacks come off the running game. Subtract that yardage from the running game. Passing yardage. Michigan getting good production there, and total yardage, and again the turnover situation. 3 for Indiana, none for Michigan here today. It is third down. Brady looking to improvise. Screens it out. He's got a first down. Thomas fumbled the football as he was brought down. I believe Indiana's got it. Anthony Thomas, the freshman, off a beautiful screen pass from quarterback Tom Brady, fumbled the football, and the Hoosiers apparently have it.
Started out as a nice play by Brady to come out and break, contain, and find Thomas, but good job by Indiana's pursuit to catch up to Thomas, knock that ball loose, and force the turnover.
James Lamar appeared to be the man to recover the football. The penalty is against Michigan for an ineligible receiver downfield. And now John Perry has squared it.
Disregard the flag. There is no foul on the play. Pass did not cross the line of scrimmage. First down, Indiana.
All right. So they pick up the flag. Take a look at the end of the play here. The cut back by Thomas. Well, when you're waving that football and the hit from behind triggered it loose.
Joslyn Goodman, number 21, continuing to try on the play. Fights from behind, catches up to Thomas, and swats that ball loose.
So out of the shotgun now, Earl Hannaford in at quarterback. He's a redshirt freshman from Martinsville, Indiana. Hannaford hits his man out across the 30-yard line. Ben Klusmeyer, the tight end, out to the 31-yard line. Hannaford, a Parade All-America selection in 1995, was Indiana's Mr. Football, and he's the yardage record holder in passing in Indiana football. Watch it again, Randy.
Start out with a nice read, just dumps the ball right over to Klusmeyer, who continues to fight for anything he can get. And you know, Ben Klusmeyer is a story here at Indiana. Also a senior tight end, started 10 games last year. This year hadn't played very much at all, with Randy Maxwell taking the majority of plays.
Second down and about 3 yards to go. Hannaford pumped once and now hits his man. Got a first down. That's Gene Paul, a junior from Naples, Florida. Gene Paul with the reception up at the 45-yard line. And of course, Gene Paul has somewhat of a career connection with Cam Cameron. Cam Cameron played for both the football squad and the basketball squad here at Indiana. Gene Paul has seen action on both sides of the parking lot here in Bloomington as well.
And Paul has been hurt. This is some of the action that we're seeing today, the play right now, but he has not played very much all year. He's really the only receiver on Indiana's roster with any experience.
Paul, a member of the IU basketball squad the last couple of seasons as a walk-on. Hannaford sets up a screen play. Glenn Johnson cutting it back. And he's out to the 50-yard line, gain of about 5. Tahani Jones on the stop for the Michigan Wolverines.
Hannaford back at quarterback, as you said, he came out of high school, Wayne, so highly recruited, All-American, and such high expectations, really hasn't had a chance to play very much. And Jay Rogers, who started in the middle of last season, has really played fairly well up until this point, and much more mobile than a Hannaford. And you can see where Rogers' running ability has helped him out. Hannaford, big reason why he hasn't seen as much action.
Johnson inside Wolverine territory. It'll be 3rd down and short coming up. Assembly Hall, where the basketball team plays. And as you pan back across the parking lot to the rim of Memorial Stadium, Cam Cameron knows both sides of the parking lot here in Bloomington. As he says, he played for both the football squad and the basketball squad, and he says what he'd like to build on this side of the parking lot is the same kind of mentality they have on the other side at Assembly Hall. And that's what he'll try to instill in his football team. They took no solace in the moral victory of that game last week. Glenn Johnson cartwheeled in his effort to get a 1st down. It's going to be 4th down coming up.
That's a good point, Wayne. Cam Cameron will tell you that winning starts mentally. You have to think you can do it, then you have to get the players. Here you see Michigan coming hard with their surge from their defensive line. Johnson doing the little 360 over the air there that time and coming up short.
4th down, a short yardage situation, and Hannaford looks to the sideline to get the play. Well, you're right, Randy. I mean, Cam Cameron said it's a mental thing. That's the whole factor that he's trying to build in this football program. And Hannaford on a keeper. Reaches for the 1st down in front of the Michigan bench at the Wolverine 45-yard line. So Earl Hannaford gets it done.
A nice fake here to Johnson in the backfield. Hannaford's got just enough speed to get to that 1st down marker.
Ian Gold over to make the stop. So Indiana trying to move the football here and trying to get some things done. There's a look at Cam Cameron. Again, the difference between winners and losers, Randy, is often, obviously there's physical talent on this level, obviously, but the other factor is the mental aspect of the game, and that's what Cam Cameron talked about yesterday. Hannaford looking to go downfield, everybody covered. Hannaford on his own now. And hammered out of bounds near the 43-yard line. To Studio 66, Mike Gleason, what's happening with Auburn?
Well, Wayne, Damian Craig just strikes again. This time he goes to Tyrone Goodson. Now, Goodson will feel this tomorrow, but Craig becomes the 4th player in Auburn history with 30 touchdown passes. 14-6 Tigers.
Earl Hannaford got a tough couple of yards just a moment ago.
You'll learn quickly you get out of bounds when you can. You don't need to take those kind of hits.
They're going to mark it as a gain of 1. It's 2nd and 9. Hannaford off play action. Looking downfield. Off the hands of the intended receiver on the play, Gene Paul. Hannaford really drilled that one. And there's a look at Gene Paul.
Would have been a tough catch for Gene Paul. One thing Hannaford does is you look at him here, he's staring the receiver down. You pump, and then he doesn't throw the ball. And when you go that way, you give the defense a little more time to close because they're reading your eyes as you're looking at the receiver. That time, Paul and the ball and the contact all got there at the same time.
And Randy, on the replay, I didn't see it live, but on the replay, you could see that ball. He almost tried to throw it too hard. It was wobbling as it got to the receiver. Not an easy catch for the receiver. Kind of a knuckleball coming at him. 3rd down now. 3rd and 9. Michigan coming on a blitz. They picked it up well. Hannaford's pass again wobbles, and this time it's behind the receiver decidedly at the 30-yard line. Klusmeyer, the intended receiver, and it's 4th down for Indiana.
Indiana does a nice job of picking up this blitz. The backs step in there and pick that up. Really a lot of time for Hannaford to throw it in an open receiver. Once again, the ball just sails too high on him, and Indiana fortunate that ball didn't get intercepted.
Hannaford threw for over 11,000 yards in his high school career. 3rd all-time nationally with 111 touchdowns. Now it's 4th down and 9 for Indiana. Through the hands of Hannaford, he recovers. Trying to hit his man over the middle on the crossing pattern. Marcus Floyd through the hands of Floyd, and Michigan will take over at the Wolverine 43. This game has been dominated by the Michigan Wolverines, 37-0 over the homestanding Hoosiers.
Penn State at Illinois. Curtis Enos gets the call. Enos 14 carries, 109 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's 8 for the year. Lions 34-6 over Illinois. Back to Bloomington.
Well, as expected, Penn State rolling up big at Illinois. We'll see Illinois next week. Meanwhile, Michigan leading big here takes over from the Wolverine 43-yard line. Tom Brady in relief of Brian Griese at quarterback for Michigan. The Wolverines have emptied out their bench basically. Brady trying to force that one in there. Nice play made by O.J. Spencer, intended for Aaron Wright. First Plus Financial game summary. Michigan, as we mentioned, has had a good day offensively, to say the least. Their defense has smothered the Hoosiers. Griese, a very efficient afternoon. Third down conversions. Indiana has been absolutely awful in that category, and that's one of the reasons why they've been unable to sustain anything here today. Second down, and the Wolverines call on Patrick McCall, and McCall out near the midfield marker on the near sidelines. Let's go back to Jim Barber.
Thank you, Wayne. Here on the sidelines, Dr. Miles Brand, the president of Indiana University, joins us. I know this is a rough afternoon at the ranch here, but still you've got a lot of faith in the guy you have selected to lead this football team.
Cam Cameron's an excellent coach. We'll have patience with him. We're very proud of our student athletes. We're very proud of our university, and we're sure we'll do well in the future. It's a good university, good football team. We'll succeed in the end.
I know one of his ambitions, besides winning, which is the obvious one, is to fill the stadium. Can he do it?
We had a very good attendance today. I think the fans like this kind of football. I think they'll stand behind us, yes.
You enjoy seeing this type of football, basketball sometimes as they call it, on the football field?
Oh, this is exciting football. It's run and pass. Kids are working hard. They're doing well.
Miles, our pleasure. Thanks for joining us on the sideline.
You bet. My pleasure.
Let's head back upstairs to Wayne and Randy.
Thank you very much, Jim. A little swing pass to Patrick McCall gets a first down for Michigan in Indiana territory at the 41-yard line. So the Wolverines continue their march. 9:06 left to go. And they're getting a lot of their young people experience here in this conference opener for Michigan. And Anthony Thomas breaks one tackle and another. And is wrapped up as he noses the football just inside the 40-yard line to the 39.
Good shot of gang tackling that time by Indiana, down 37-0, and yet you see 6-7 red jerseys coming over to the ball, getting a helmet in on the tackle.
Gain of a couple of yards. It's second down coming up for Michigan. And we get a look at the freshman, Anthony Thomas. They are, as we mentioned, very high on him. Was a tailback and place kicker in high school. Gained over 7,500 yards rushing. 93 touchdowns in his high school career. You don't often see that combination. Running back, place kicker.
No, that's rare.
Second down at about 8. Brady again. Boy, the swing pass has been open all day into the flat, and nice tackle made in the open field by McGrath on Anthony Thomas.
You don't see that combination, but I don't think Michigan had any question where they were going to play him at if it came down to having to choose.
You know, we're seeing a lot of true freshmen on the field. For Indiana, the reason is obvious. They don't have a lot of experienced senior players or junior players in their program. For Michigan, you're seeing more true freshmen because it is a sign of the times, especially at the, we talked to Lloyd Carr about this, especially at the skill position areas. You may not have a kid play 5 years in his college career, spend 5 years in his college career. He may spend 4, maybe he leaves after 3 years, especially the skilled people. Third down, Brady under pressure, wrapped up on the play. Nick Abruzzo, defensive end, gets a sack for Indiana. Back to the midfield marker are the Wolverines.
Take a look at this Indiana defense coming through, putting pressure on Brady. He doesn't have anywhere to go with the ball, and Abruzzo does a nice job of wrapping him up. Wayne, what you were talking about, I think there are 2 reasons why you see so many young players. Number one, like you mentioned, players may not stay 4 or 5 years. They're going to leave early. And secondly, you have to promise a kid now that he's going to play early, because kids want to play as freshmen. They want to get a chance to play right away. So in order to do that, you got to promise him that he'll have an opportunity.
Indiana will take this offensive opportunity, 1st and 10 from their 14-yard line when we resume in Bloomington. Michigan rolling to its 4th victory of the season. They'll be 4-0 following the completion of this 4th quarter. Wayne Larrivee, Randy Wright, Jim Barber. It's homecoming in Bloomington, Indiana at Memorial Stadium. And we have 6:55 left to go, fourth quarter. Earl Hannaford in a quarterback in place of Jay Rogers for the Hoosiers, and the handoff to Gaddis, and he is nabbed. Boy, I tell you, that was a jailbreak up front. We'll make that Grubbs on the carry. And Nate Miller in on that stop for Michigan. And Deion Grubbs, the ball carrier. Brian Greasy is our Dodge player of the game. A look at his numbers. An efficient passing afternoon for Greasy. And a lot of it came in the little screen passes and dump off passes over the middle. This one to Ty Straits, scored a touchdown. Greasy worked that short passing game to perfection here today. Penalty markers down earlier. They hold up the action on 2nd and 14 for Indiana. So this will go against the Hoosiers.
Well, Greasy is just perfect for that Michigan offense. He's got so much talent around him that he does a nice job of putting the ball where it needs to be. Throws the ball very well, makes very, very good decisions. He's just excellent for this system.
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense, half the distance to the goal, still second down.
In talking with Mike DeBoard, the Michigan offensive coordinator, he was discussing Brian Greasy and mentioning how the kid makes just great decisions every time with the ball. He's a fifth-year senior, as we mentioned earlier today. He dedicated himself to come back this season and take the #1 job, and that's exactly what he's done. And his decision-making process is what has been so impressive to the Michigan people.
He comes in, he studies a lot of game film. He knows his opponent as well as the coaching staff does.
Grubbs gets the call, and Deion Grubbs goes wide and out of bounds near the 10-yard line. Eric Wilson forced him out. Well, some smiles on that Michigan sideline. Last week at this time, they were trying to hang on against Notre Dame, committing one turnover after another.
You look at Lord Carr, until this game is over, you're not going to know whether they're ahead or not. He doesn't show a lot of emotion anytime, especially during the middle of a game. Learn that from Bo Schembechler, you think?
I would think so. As long as the clock was still ticking, Bo was very serious about what was going on. Third down for Indiana, about 14 yards to go for the Hoosiers. David Ballou was the man in motion. Hannaford looking to the air. Hits to Ballou with the pass, and he is wrapped up immediately on the play by Ian Gold, the linebacker. There's a penalty marker down. Michigan today, as we mentioned, the one turnover so far in the ball game today by Michigan. It was inconsequential, and it happened in the second half when Michigan was well ahead. And the penalties, they've done a pretty good job in the penalty department. They were concerned about that coming in, that their offense has been plagued by turnovers and penalties in recent weeks, but today they have been very good.
In the offense, penalty is used. They'll take the result of the play, fourth down.
So fourth down, and Alan Sitkowski will come on once again in punt formation. Just inside of 5 minutes to go in the football game. Whitley back deep to receive this punt from Sitkowski. And he gets away a beautiful spiral. Whitley. Over the shoulder it goes. Whitley trying to chase down, and does, near the 13. Trying to change direction. Got a great block on the flank, and he's out to the 20-yard line. Outstanding block made by William Peterson. Michigan will start near its 20-yard line when we resume in the fourth quarter. Michigan in command with 4.5 minutes to go in the football game. Our Outback Steakhouse outstanding back of the game, Chris Howard of the Michigan Wolverines. Watch him right here on this 3-yard touchdown run of the second quarter. This to put Michigan up 9-0. The extra point made it 10-0, and the Wolverines were off to the races from there. They led 3-0 at the end of one quarter and had built that lead up to 31-0 at halftime. Chris Howard, our Outback back of the game.
Very effective in the passing game, too. Michigan running a lot of screens, a lot of swing passes. Howard having a big day on the ground and through the air.
Jason Kapsener, the new quarterback, in for Michigan. And getting the call down the sidelines, Ray Jackson. Yet another true freshman running back for Michigan. Boy, they just keep wheeling him out there, don't they? I tell you, the depth, they penalty marked it down on this play, but the depth that Michigan has in the backfield is really something.
And that's something that a lot of teams don't have now, is the depth, because of the 85 scholarships and because of several other things. But Jackson, he's been very impressive. Anthony Thomas, a true freshman, very impressive. I'd just like to have Ray Jackson and Anthony Thomas, both true freshmen, starting in your backfield.
I think you'd find room for him, as Lloyd Carr did in Michigan. It's just that with a program like Michigan, you're not used to seeing true freshmen play much.
Holding on the offense. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Replay, first down.
So the holding penalty wipes out what might have been a first down and leaves first down and first down at about 12 yards to go. Back at the 17-yard line. Kampsner at quarterback. Kampsner going downfield this time, and he's got his man Marcus Knight. One of the bigger pass plays of the day for Michigan out to the 37-yard line. So first down Michigan on a 20-yard pass play.
Brady again having success throwing the ball to the outside, a corner route. He gets good protection, puts a lot of air under the ball. When you throw the ball like that as a quarterback, you put air underneath it. You give the receiver a chance to adjust to it. Doesn't have to be a perfectly thrown ball, but Jasper Kampsner that time, nice job.
So Michigan goes on first down. Coming up on 4 minutes to go in the football game. Nice move by Jackson. He was hit hard and driven down by Nick Abruzzo. And a gain of about 7 or 8 yards. Let's take a look at the upcoming schedule for the Michigan Wolverines. And they are just getting into the lion's share of their schedule now in Big Ten play. Northwestern next week at home. Iowa, that'll be a big game. Then Iowa, Michigan State back-to-back. And then you're going to find later in November Penn State and Wisconsin back-to-back. So,
and what's not on there? Ohio State. Last game at Ohio State. I think it's at Ohio State this year.
The handoff on the running play up the middle. Demetrius Smith, the big fullback, gets the call. If I'm not mistaken, it's at Ann Arbor.
Is it at Ann Arbor?
Yes, they beat them in Columbus last year. The Indiana Hoosiers upcoming schedule. Michigan State will be up next for the Hoosiers. Then at Ohio State, at Iowa, Illinois at home, then Minnesota and Purdue. So first down for the Michigan Wolverines at the 49-yard line. And again, as you mentioned, Randy, Michigan will finish up with Ohio State per usual in one of the best traditional rivalries in college football.
Michigan has owned that rivalry the last several years. John Cooper having outstanding teams at Ohio State, but Michigan has owned that series the last 7, 8, 9 years.
Tate Shansky, the latest Michigan runner to get a call. He is a sophomore. Redshirt sophomore out of Perry, Michigan.
You watch this Michigan team offensively, defensively, special teams. They just don't seem to have a weakness.
Very solid throughout, Randy, and I think their defense is better than solid. I really do. They've done a great job thus far this season. Once again, straight ahead dive, and the Michigan Wolverines continue to move the clock. It'll be third down and short coming up. And Jackson got the call that time.
Whenever you've got a Charles Woodson on your defense, you've got a guy that can create big plays, whether it be coming up and making a big hit, taking your best receiver totally out of the game, or making the interception. He's just a guy that can change your offensive game plan.
Third down, about a yard to go for Michigan. Football just outside the Indiana 46. Oh, and Jackson slipped a defender. Curtis Randall L makes the tackle, but not before Michigan moves the chains. Inside of 2 minutes left to go. When you look at what the Michigan defense has done, held Colorado to 3 points in the opener, Baylor to 3 points, and then Notre Dame did get 14 points on them. But what was impressive about that game, Randy, was in the fourth quarter, 3 times the Michigan offense turned over the football in Michigan territory, and 3 times in the fourth quarter the Michigan defense turned the Irish away.
The other thing I think is very important also is coming into this game, Michigan had played 3 games. There had only been 5 times the opponent had the ball inside the 20-yard line.
Kampsner looking for a receiver, nearly picked away. Curtis Randall L., whose brother Antoine is going to be a quarterback in this program before it's all said and done. He's redshirting this year. Nearly picked that away. Randall L. moved to the strong safety position for Indiana this week, and he gives them a good coverage man at that strong safety spot. Minute 24 to go in the game.
Much more like a linebacker. He can hit. He's got good coverage ability. He's going to be a good addition to them back there.
Second down at 10 yards to go now for the Wolverines. Kempsner from Eden Prairie, Minnesota. Jackson breaks a tackle and gets inside the 35 down near the 32-yard line. Ray Jackson, an impressive runner as well. Don't forget, next week we will be back in Madison, Wisconsin. Robert Holcomb leads the Fighting Illini of Illinois into Madison to take on the Great Dane, Ron Dane, and the Wisconsin Badgers. Check your local listings for the time in your area. Big Ten football, Illinois and Wisconsin next week.
Ron Dane healthy again after being banged up earlier in the year. We saw him last week, ran for over 200 yards, and he's an awfully powerful back. You ever seen a guy that big runs that fast?
Quickness, that's the thing that he has that is special. Not only is he big, he's quick. Randall L. shaken up on the play. Is assisted off the field. 60 seconds remaining, make it 70 seconds remaining in this football game. So Michigan will be off to a 4-0 start with a home engagement against Northwestern next week. And the Indiana Hoosiers will fall to 1-4 on the campaign. Michigan on third down. Jackson fumbles the football, gets it back, and then he's bulldogged down back outside the 40-yard line. Our Las Vegas Tourism play of the game. And take a look at it. This is what Michigan did so well here today offensively. Great timing on the screen. Quick pass over to Floyd. Got a block in front. And made the turn around that block by Chris Seaman and motored down the sidelines to help set up another Michigan score.
Set up one of the early Michigan touchdowns, but it was that play more than any other play today, Wayne, that really did the damage to Indiana's defense. Whether it was Floyd or Howard, that screen play they ran to perfection.
Final seconds ticking away. Jason Vincent in punt formation. I don't know if he'll even get it off, but let's see. And here's the snap. He does get it away. As time winds down to this football game, the Michigan Wolverines did what they had to do on the road. They came in, they established control of this football game in the second quarter and stormed to a 37-0 victory over the Indiana Hoosiers. Cam Cameron and Lloyd Carr spent some time together on the Michigan